Did you know that 6.5 million animals a year are brought to shelters? These are companion animals, like dogs and cats, that would make a perfect companion for just about anybody. These are animals that could have a good use, not only being the family pet, but these could be emotional support animals. These could be anti-stress animals. These could be PTSD relief animals. You name it. This is what kind of animals are coming to the shelter every year. 6.5 million of them. Out of those 6.5 million, 1.5 million are euthanized for no fault of their own. These animals are most of the time perfectly healthy, perfectly capable of living at a home, but there's just simply not enough room and not enough resources to keep all these animals. So we euthanize 1.5 million of them. Now, the overpopulation of animals is due to a few factors, but one of the main factors is because animals breed on their own and humans breed animals. It's in my opinion that if we would like to do something to control this out of control situation, one of the things we should do first is stop buying animals that have come from puppy mills or breeders. You can always choose to adopt an animal from a shelter, a rescue organization, or a no-kill shelter. There's a lot of benefits of adopting an animal versus buying an animal. Right off the top, adopting an animal is completely less expensive. You can pay way less money for an animal that you get at a shelter, depending on the animal's age or their size or how many vet bills they've incurred. The price of an animal can be $100 to $150. Sometimes when you find one from a charitable organization like a dog rescue, the price can be a little higher, but that's most of the time because they've also included food, they've also included vet visits, and so your dog comes with all of its inoculations and shots, and a lot of times they've already been trained. Whereas if you're buying a dog from, let's say, a puppy mill, that dog has not gone and seen the vet and has not gone through all his inoculations. So you're gonna have to pay that money anyways. In the long run, an adopted dog or a mixed breed dog is gonna save you money because they're less prone to genetic abnormalities. A typical dog that's been from a puppy mill or a breeder has gone through generations of inbreeding. Inbreeding can cause things like hip dysplasia, heart murmurs, skin afflictions, and all sorts of other genetic abnormalities simply because they've been inbred their entire life. Another nice thing is that with a shelter dog or a rescue dog, you're not specifically paying for a bloodline. Oftentimes if you buy a dog from a breeder, you're actually paying for that bloodline, depending on who his parents are or what breed it is or who we're sired by. You're paying for basically a certificate, and you don't know if that dog is any better than any other dog on the planet. Also, you might want to consider where exactly the money is going to. Most likely, if you buy it from a no-kill shelter or a dog rescue, those dogs usually have a 501c charity status. So you know that money is just going to a charity or going to help those dogs out, help shelter the dogs, and give the dogs a chance to be adopted. If you're buying money from a breeder or a puppy mill or a pet store, that money is definitely for profit. And all they're doing is looking at these animals in way of how much profit they can make, not so much just caring about the animals. Another really nice thing about adopting a dog instead of buying a dog is that you get to pick a little bit more what kind of character your dog has. In shelters and in no rescue shelters and rescue organizations, especially if the dog's been fostered, most of the time you can ask, well, what is this dog like? What kind of behavior can I expect from this dog? Does this dog get along with children? Does this dog get along with other dogs? Does this dog get along with cats? Most of us that are adopting dogs, we either have children, other pets, or other different kinds of animals in the house. And it's important to know before you get that dog or you adopt any kind of animal, whether it's gonna get along with the other animals in your house. Another great thing about getting a dog that's been in a shelter, or a foster, or a no-kill rescue is that oftentimes they actually come housebroken already or crate trained. I don't know if you've ever had a puppy before, but housebreaking a dog and crate training a dog, not so simple. So if it comes already, like that, you're already ahead of things. A lot of times the dogs will have already been to obedience school, or if you're getting an older dog, it's just simply already lived at home and knows how to behave around other animals and in a family situation. If you're getting a dog from a puppy mill, that dog has probably been contained in a very small box most of its life and then brought to a pet store for the other part of his life, where it hasn't known a world outside that small box. It hasn't been socialized properly. It doesn't know how to get along with other dogs. It doesn't know how to behave in normal situations like roaming free around a house. A lot of times these dogs that you get from puppy mills and from breeders can be quite traumatized. And I'm not saying that you should get rid of animals that have been traumatized, but it's a very difficult task to untraumatize a dog if you've ever had to do that before. Maybe the best and the biggest reason for adopting a dog is basically you're saving the life of an animal. A lot of these dogs that go to shelters, like I said before, they're there out of no fault of their own. And when you adopt one from a shelter, you are literally saving that dog's life. As far as puppy mills go, in the United States, there are over 10,000 puppy mills. Each year, those 10,000 puppy mills make over 2 million puppies. Out of those puppies, a lot of them that don't get adopted end up right back at a shelter anyways. It's estimated that 25% of all shelter dogs are actually purebred dogs. Oftentimes, people can leave their dogs at shelters anonymously, but we can figure out that all these purebred dogs are most likely from a puppy mill or a breeder. They weren't adopted or they weren't sold because they had something that didn't fit their breed characteristics or just nobody wanted them, so they've been discarded. So just cut to the chase and go right to the shelter. Go right to your no-kill organization and get the dog right away and save its life. These abandoned animals, they need a chance. They really do, and you're not just giving them a chance, but you're bringing a little creature into your house that's going to love you unconditionally. I think in the future, we could look forward to having a system where we only adopt out dogs that have been found and adopt out dogs from shelters, adopt dogs that have been bred basically by accident. If we keep moving towards this, pretty soon all dogs are going to have a home, and we can get rid of people selling dogs and breeding dogs for profit. So, if you're considering a new friend or a new companion, I would definitely urge you to look at a shelter, to look at a rescue charity, to look at anywhere besides buying one from a breeder who has basically reared this dog just to be profit. Remember, a friend is waiting for you out there somewhere. You just have to go look in the right places. Thank you.